Hello and welcome to another episode of Squirtified Engineering. I'm Sprutis, and if you're new to the channel then please consider subscribing so you can stay up to date with all my different projects. In the last episode we were taking apart the rear hubs, so why not focus on the front ones. We need to remove those from the car, and I also need to remove them in order to see what I actually need to replace. I will be replacing the wheel bearings, both rear and front, but I think also one of the tie rod and boots is broken, so I might just get new tie rods. But then we have the lower joint, etc. So yeah, since Black Friday is coming up, I need to know what I need to buy, so I think we'll focus on the fronts. So I didn't do the sorting in the last episode that I spoke about, so in order to force myself to do it now, I have pre-marked some bags. So the parts that I've taken off, or the screws and nuts and small details, are now organized in these pretty plastic bags, which are then placed in this pretty well-worn cardboard box. So now I can focus on getting the front stuff off. So we will start on the right hand side. So first we need to uncover the car a bit and remove the wheel. So we start with that, and I think it's 21mm, and also the fifth one is a lock thingy. So with the wheel out of the way, we can clearly see, or more easily see, what we're working with. The brake caliper will be, I will wiggle it a bit so that I push in the piston, meaning the pressure from the brake pads will get lower, and then I will take out the 14mm screws, or 17. And take off the brake caliper assembly in one piece, hang it on the upper control arm. I also noticed that I've done something bad. The brake line is not going through this one, so it's incorrect. And yeah, also some paint have been shaved off. I will do a bit of touch up before I reassemble everything. Here you can also see that I already made some modifications for the upcoming brake discs. But yeah, we will undo the brake, then we can remove the brake disc, and the lower spindle joint, I think I will remove that from the control arm and take it with the hub. This one, on the other hand, will be I need to undo it and see if I can get it loose. Otherwise I need to undo the screw going over there so that I can remove the hub together with the upper control arm. And like I said, the spindle boot is, the tie rod boot is damaged, so it will get replaced. And you also see the clips that I need to undo before I can remove the nuts, etc, etc. I might try removing the spindle from the hub. You will see. But yeah, that's the work we have in front of us. So I have removed all three, let's say, spindle nuts. I had to remove this bracket to get a bit more room to play with. And down there is where the bracket was. I have removed this nut, and also the one down there. So now we have the brake caliper left, and then get all those undone. And I also have this ABS wire which goes into the engine bay, and it's a bit of a special connection made by me on the inside, and I'm not sure if I can remove the sensor, so yeah, we will see what happens. I don't think it's worth trying, because doing that here I will probably break it, so not so good. So let's continue with the brakes instead. with the brake caliper out of the way, you can more easily see what's left of the hub. And so the nut here was 19, the one down there was 22. The small screws here were 12 millimeter. The two for the brake caliper bracket was 17 millimeters, and that's the same size for this tie rod. That might be different depending on the brand of tie rod. So yeah, we have one joint removed, so we have two left. We will see how that goes, and also the ABS wire. So in order now to get everything free, well, I just cut the ABS wire. I will make a better repair later on. I need to remove this entire piece from the lower control arm, but it's blocked, the screw, by the coilover. So I need to lower the control arm from the coilover in order to get the screw out. The hub is removed. Maybe I could get away with just a new dust boot, but I might as well replace the entire tie rod. And the lower joint of course fell out once I got the hub removed. And I also removed the dust cap, and I mean, it looks really nice, so it feels a bit bad to take this apart. This is basically like a time capsule from '89, but who knows how long this will hold. With the hub free for the first time in 10 years, I just had to try out my new brake setup. So Subaru brake disc, Mercedes brake caliper, and Supra hub. Currently I have the Mercedes screws, and the body of those are a bit too thick for the spindle, so I can't as of right now I can't space it out correctly, but what I can see is I have enough clearance for doing the spacing, and it will be really nice. I had to turn down the middle hole, the center hole, which I did before even using the brake disc, to avoid having something which have been temperature cycled, as that can harden the material. But yeah, now I can continue with taking apart the spindle or hub. And a small comparison between the different brake discs. This one is, well, a lot thicker than the old one. Even though the old one is worn, it's, yeah, thin. And the diameter, I think the difference is maybe 10 millimeters or something like that. Maybe a bit more. So that will be it for this episode. But I take it as a good win to remove the hub and also test the new brake setup. But thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Stay safe. Take care. Bye bye.